Hey everyone, it's your health coach Lisa, and we are on day 4 of our theme this week of simple meals. So, my goal is to help those of you who don't love this process to find it a little less chaotic, a little less intimidating, maybe even a little enjoyable. So far this week, we talked about the importance of having a plan, of being able to make your menu ahead of time. And I only do 5 main dishes when I make mine because I just try to make it simple. And that way I know that at the end of the day, I have the ingredients and the ideas to make a meal without then having to add that additional pressure of coming up with what to make. On day 2, we talked about finding a source. So, how do you make that plan with really good sources? Now, I like to search magazines, cookbooks, and the internet. And then on Mondays, I publish a blog that it would be a good source for you at bringingbackdinner.com that has 5 meals with links that I have tested, tried, checked out, and I have additional tips for you on how to make that work for you and how much time it'll take and how hard it is. So just to make it a little easier to pick some meals. But on our sources, we looked at things like magazines, cookbooks, and the internet, and finding a few good ones. The challenge was to find 4 that you can just go back to over and over again until you decide that you want to branch out a little. And then today, we're taking it old school. So by old school, I mean, sometimes it helps when we're planning our meals to think of things like I need a protein, a starch, and a vegetable, right? So think, I don't know, 1950s and the plate with the meat and the potatoes and the vegetable. And then that was kind of the regular thing, to have for the meal. But what it does do is it provides you with protein. And the combination of your vegetables, protein, and your starch can help create a complete protein in your meal. So the food that you eat doesn't have to be a complete protein. If the foods that you eat throughout the day have the 9 essential amino acids that you need, you'll create complete proteins to help fuel your body more efficiently. And so you will also, by having a vegetable that you're adding in, you're going to provide antioxidants and your vitamins and minerals and things to truly fuel your body with that cell building, muscle recovering, immune system boosting magic of a vegetable with all of your antioxidants, minerals, and vitamins. And so you want to have your protein, your starch, and your vegetable. Now, starch, right? This is one where people, you might have already gotten upset with me because I said it, get really bent out of shape, is that we've decided that carbs are bad. They're not. It is what type of carb we choose that matters. And so I really enjoy whole food plant-based eating, and I do a flexitarian way of approaching it, but that we do add in some fish and lean meats from time to time. But if I'm choosing foods that I would call a green light food, they're from the ground, that you can harvest them. Their source. They're good, solid, whole food, plant-based foods. So fruits and vegetables and grains and legumes, those things there. Then I know that I am getting good, solid sources of nutrition. And so my starches that I'm looking at, I'm not looking at something where like wheat comes from the ground, but how processed has it become? Personally, we use a heritage wheat that was before the 1950s where it was altered. But choosing a whole grain wheat for your breads, whole grain breads, can really make a difference nutrition wise. And so that type of carb, choosing a pasta that is a whole grain, maybe even something like lentil grain a pasta. Your starches can be foods that you want, like if you choose baked potato, but then you put bacon and cream cheese sauce and sour cream and tons of butter and all that, then it does change the nutritional component. I'm not telling you not to do it because everybody needs treats. And if that's your treat, I can't judge you. But I am saying you might not want to do it on a regular basis or all the time, or you might want to reduce the amount that goes on top because you want the benefit of the starch itself, which is still nutritionally dense if you choose wisely. So having these mixtures can help you make it easy for you. So you just think about like it used to be like meat and potatoes, right? Meat, potatoes, and peas or something. But if you need to start out, if you really don't like the cooking process and the planning process, when you're doing your planning and you're looking at your sources, pick your protein first. It could be black beans. It could be steak, whatever you like. And then you're going to say you use the internet, you could do something like 30-minute meals steak, 30-minute meals black beans. And so you're going to start there and choose your menu. And then once you've chosen the meal that you want to make, it's easier to decide what coordinates with it well. So if you're doing something like a black bean Mexican casserole, then you might want corn on the side. And then you could throw in a nice salad with it as well. And so you're adding in a variety of nutritionally dense options to help fuel your body in there. It also can make a nice flavorful meal. Now, if you're doing salads, you don't want to get carried away with the dressing, but I highly recommend making your own. At bringingbackdinner.com, we have tons of ideas for making your own salad dressings, and the flavor is so much better, and it's so easy. You don't have to be intimidated. It's all part of this whole process, is that we find a few things that we realize after we've done them a few times, well, this isn't that hard, and I can do this anytime I want without any stress or with minimal stress. So we want to keep simple meals. So maybe you start with something like a vegetable forward salad topped with grilled chicken, and then a nice healthy salad dressing. And so you could even put chickpeas or black beans or peas or something in with it, and you're going to boost the protein and boost the nutrient content. So I would like you to think about how does this tie in to our wellness goals as we cook as well. But if the first step is just like, oh my gosh, I have to make a meal, then let's just get food on the plate that tastes good, wasn't chaotic, and that you can feel good about. Okay, so if we want to just go old school a little bit as a starting point, or sometimes when you're stuck, when you're sitting there making your plan, just think, what for this meal, what is a good protein, what is a good starch, what's a good other vegetable, a good vegetable or other vegetable to go with it. Green is nice to add green in, but we'll tell you, I love a good roasted carrot. That's a good choice too. So drop your questions, any ideas you have in the comments. We can talk about this together in this wellness community. And your challenge for today is to come up with 3 meals that have a protein, a starch, and a vegetable, and write them out. So as we're working this week, you're brainstorming lots of different recipes. Write them down somewhere, and hopefully at the end of the week, you'll have enough to get all the way through one solid week next week, and possibly even 2 weeks. So I hope that we're getting closer to reducing the stress and bringing back dinner to your home.